Oh, hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last 11 months and counting, because the daily stream streak must remain strong, I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 45 minutes for today's coffee break. That's right, it's a bit of a short one, but, oh boy, don't we have a fun subject. But before I get into that subject, let me begin with a little bit of housekeeping. Lucas the intern, congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. And also, I do agree with your sentiment. Hello, and fuck ice. Very good. Furthermore, Woscom, Junior Researcher Sally, Kilbur, Titanborn, Senior Researcher Alex, Froy, Dark Duality, Woscom, Philip November, 369 Destroyer, everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members of Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, Code Hunter, Gur Eats All, Iron 5A, Layla Ray, Biscuit Boy, and Julian. Welcome to today's stream. Thank you for being punctual, and thank you for being here today, just for being you. Now, a strange coincidence starting up today's stream that several members of my Containment Hazard Assessment team, including Avari, Junior Researcher Sally, as well as multiple other folks in here, all responding with the nearly exact same phrase. You know Tadsy? Tadic? However you say that abbreviation. Let's just call it the Amazing Digital Circus. So yes, as someone who has made it their work to spread the SCP Foundation far and wide across the internet, it is important for me, as a social media maven, to keep track of what else is popular in the cultural zeitgeist online. That way, I don't know, maybe I can jump on the trend. Maybe I can pay attention and spread the SCP fandom to infect those of other fandoms. Those especially that might be of a like mindset and interest. I don't know, maybe online horror and science fiction. So of course, I'm looking into your FNAFs, your Poppy Playtimes, your Garten of Banbans. And that brings us to the Amazing Digital Circus. Now, I am not going to talk in depth about the Amazing Digital Circus, nor its latest episode today. I'm going to say one very tiny, insignificant spoiler. In fact, it is such a non-spoiler that the film theorists who made a video that released this morning, but was written before episode 8 dropped, they mentioned what I'm about to talk about and what I have said in the stream subject. which is there is a blatant mention in the latest episode of the classic science fiction short story, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by Harlan Ellison. And honestly, we're talking about The Amazing Digital Circus to get to I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. So, ha! I baited you. I baited your click. Your click has been baited. You thought we were talking about a circus. I'm talking about the Allied Master Computer. Ha! I got you. So, yes, as I am saying, The Amazing Digital Circus came out with a new episode, episode 8, and there is a blatant I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream reference. Now, the reason I bring this up for you today is because if you frequent Site 42 of the SCP Foundation, then you must be some sort of SCP Foundation fan, I assume. If not, you are trying to learn about the SCP Foundation. And if I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is an influence about that, of the Digital Circus, and it's an influence on the SCP Foundation, trust me, then I have a question. In the chat, I'm going to put a poll with only 2 questions, or two responses. Have you read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? Yes or no? Start poll. Have you read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? It is a very old science fiction story. It is, and by very old, I just mean older than me. I, like most people, have a trouble with time and when it comes to things that are modern or new. Now, modern or new versus classic. Remember, when I was young, the 80s were retro. The 70s were retro. Now, my time is retro. The plot thickens. And by the way, I think the clickbait worked because we are currently at twice as many viewers as we normally have. If you're here, hit that like button. Bring more people into the SCP TADC AIHNMAIMS stream. Hit that like button, people. Bring more people to talk about science fiction in the SCP universe. Dr. Sherman, it's pronounced Tadak. But there's no A between the D and the C. Why would it be Tadak? Why wouldn't it be Tadak? Anyways. So, now that I'm looking at the poll, I've given you enough distraction. Right now we have a 62% no on reading I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Now, later on down the line, I'm going to ask you how many of you have read, not even the whole series, just one of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, another lovely but more absurdist comedy science fiction story series. It's where the Site 42 number comes from. It's where I get the habit of reading a whole bunch of science fiction SCPs and enjoying the comedy, where some people really just get really grumpy if anything about SCP is not grim, dark, and violent. No, we can have fun with science fiction too, guys. I believe in you. I believe we can have fun here. Avari, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is what you are trying to say there. But today, I will not be talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm talking about I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Because so many people in this poll here, 62% of my chat right now, has not read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Now, considering if you're fans of The Amazing Digital Circus, if you've come here because you got clickbaited by me talking about The Amazing Digital Circus on an SCP channel regarding I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, why haven't you read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? Now, if you are sensitive to very dark and hateful topics, you get a pass. If Reading this will make you have to have a conversation with your therapist. You get a pass. But here's the deal. Find the FNAF. You gave one of the answers I'm interested. Don't own the book. That story, as Amber pointed out in the chat, came out in 1967. And as such, it is available online. And I'll tell you this. I have no mouth and I must scream. If you've never read it, if you were to guess how long I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream was, in words or in pages, how long do you think that story must be? You know, this legendary piece of science fiction that's been around in the conversation for nearly 60 years now. It is turning 60 next year, people. It Giraffe has a pretty correct answer. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is not some crazy, legendarily long work. It is literally a short story. It is, depending on the book it is in and the font size, between 11 and 13 pages long. 11 to 13 pages. The word count is between 5,000 and 6,000 words. In my catalog of SCPs that I've written for the SCP database, I've written one tale called Ignorance is Bliss. It is a science fiction story set in the far future. My byline for it, it's if Terminator happened, but the enemies were pattern screamers. That story that I wrote is over 8,000 words. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is less words than the story I wrote for the SCP database. And by the way, it is better. It does stand the test of time, better than Terminator with pattern screamers. So, find it online and read it. A seminal work of science fiction history. And hey, if you think I'm talking down to you right now, I'm the site director here. I am obviously talking down to you. But I only read it for the first time this year. I had absorbed a whole bunch of cultural osmosis of the themes of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I have looked at YouTube videos of the video game, which is very cool. There are all sorts of different ways to hear about it, but never actually read it. But 5,000 to 6,000 words, 11 to 13 pages, for one of the most lauded works of science fiction short form work. Trust me, if you like reading SCPs, you've read SCPs longer than I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. And I'm going to be asking again tomorrow if you have read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I would like to see this poll be a little more toward 50-50 tomorrow. So please, 30 minutes out of your day today, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. It's very easy to find online. And that's all. I just watched The Amazing Digital Circus Episode 8. I heard the very blatant reference to I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I listened to the film theorists talk about how it was based on I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. And then I just realized I work in a science fiction fandom. You guys should be reading this. And hell, if you've already read it and you want something else to chew on that's not SCP, if I'm giving non-SCP recs, House of Leaves. Get the print edition. Get it shipped to you. Use Dedo Prime. Amazon Prime for free. You need to trust Dedo. House of Leaves. For a guy whose favorite SCP is 3999 because of the format screw bullshit, woof. You gotta read that later. You gotta read that later. Happy 13th anniversary of being a Wikidot user, Dr. Sherman. DJ, is it my Wikidot birthday? Is it my Wikidot birthday? And I didn't even know. My account. Where do I even see that? How do you know this? Oh no, you've got me on a tangent. Luckily, I finished my stream subject. So you've distracted me onto the next subject very quickly. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to, hey, how about my tale, Ignorance is Bliss, that I just talked about. If I go to Ignorance is Bliss, I will find my handle at the bottom as the author. And so, ooh, also very fun news. Ignorance is Bliss has finally reached a plus 100 rating. Tales are very often not as well seen, so this took a long time. That's cool for me. And now we scroll to the bottom. No spoilers, the Sherm. Wikidot user since the 22nd of March, 2013. Insane. I did not realize that this was my 13th Wikidot birthday. That means I have officially been a member of the SCP Wiki for 13 years. How long did it take me to join? I don't remember. But 2013 was definitely before I moved to California. Well, happy birthday to my Wikidot account. Happy birthday to my Wikidot account. Happy birthday. Here's Charlie. Happy birthday to my Wikidot account.
You joined at 2:31 p.m.
Florida time or California time?
It does not say, but it was 47 days ago, so that's a cool number.
It was 47 days ago?
4,747.
That is 13 years is 47 days. Interesting. I did not know that.
13.
Crazy. And now for my allergies. Now that we've had a fun little tangent, DJ, why did you check that? That's so funny. You know everything on the SCP database. Your hyperfixation is unmatched, DJ. Congratulations yet again for impressing me.
When have they been waiting for that?
Okay. So, now that we've had a tangent, I have trophy cake. Cake that's a trophy, Titan board. Thank you for trophy cake for my Wikidot birthday. I am definitely going to screen cap that and share that on the rest of social media. 13 years, which is my favorite number, 13. So, well, besides 42, obviously. All right. I am returning to the chat. I am going to go through the donations that came in during the stream subject, and then we will have general Q&A for the next 30 minutes before I have to get to work. So, Philip November, thank you for your thank you for your 3 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. I bet my 420-J stash that bubble is second AI. Interesting. An interesting theory. Senior researcher Alex, thank you for your 1-year anniversary as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service, and happy membership birthday to you. Good evening, Dr. Sherman. How's Puppy of Interest? As you saw, Puppy of Interest is quite Sweetie Pumpkin adorable, as always. By the way, really quick, Hexomania, Vamp, and Fire Studio, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. I've seen a lot of people subscribe. I'm hopping up real quick just to make sure I don't miss too many people. Saheb and Anakin, welcome to Site 42 staff. Stay away from the cadet school, Anakin. Other subscribers that I missed. I can't go any further back in chat. So now I know that far. Scrolling back to the bottom of chat. Skywarp, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a candy cane on your way past the commissary. I have returned yet again and have been promoted to overseer. You humans now serve under me. Did you promote yourself to overseer? You must have done it off stream, that way we didn't see a notification here. But wow, okay. If that's true, congratulations on your promotion. Yeah. Oh yes, Overseer Skywarp. Okay. A Cybertronian Overseer of the SCP Foundation is not a very dangerous prospect that I will be worried about. No, that is, that's perfectly fine. Thank you for your service, Overseer Skywarp. Why is 42 my favorite number? Because it is the funny meme number from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is one of my very favorite science fiction comedy book series. At very least, you need to read the first one. There's always more memes if you keep going, but the first one is so good. Masterwork of science fiction comedy. So yes, Dr. Sherman's reading recs for non-SCP works for today. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream for being short and sweet. House of Leaves for being very fun format screw. And Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for being... Yes, it is a great comedy book. It's very funny. It's a very funny book, Charlie. Zyler May, thank you for pressing F to pay respects twice to the chat. We appreciate the respects, I'm sure. Woes Come, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a slice of cherry pie on your way past the commissary. The O5 have banned SCP-420-J because of Pi Day. Trust me, we'll get around it. It's fine. It's fine. The Amazing Digital Circus is so traumatizing. They got tortured. Yes, intern Ali. Thankfully for us here at the SCP Foundation, we are used to some pretty negative situations happening. Trust me, you work for the Foundation enough, you will be desensitized to that kind of physical and psychological torture. Sometimes, physical and psychological torture at the same time. Physiological torture. Yes, that's the term for it. For sure. Don't look it up. I saw a Ko-Fi notification. Let me get that before I forget it exists. True God Fox, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. And as I think you're still a member, if so, thank you for being a member as well. And thank you for making the effort to donate through the Ko-Fi, which, as we know, has only a 3% tax on your donation, whereas a YouTube Super Chat takes 30% of your donation. So thank you for making the effort to do that through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a hot cocoa on your way past the commissary. MyHouse.wad also deserves a shout out as SCP-esque non-SCP content. Power Pack has been a really good breakdown of the mod. Fully recommend watching it if you haven't, or playing it if you enjoy Doom. Multiple endings, puzzles, and searching for clues in long text documents abound. And by MyHouse.wad, I mean, that also fits in with the fact that I was talking about House of Leaves. on which myhouse.wad is a inspiration as well. Because, I mean, you get to the end of the original ending where the house is sold and it's Navidson Real Estate, which is literally the character from House of Leaves. So I don't know if you knew that House of Leaves was in there. You probably did since you watched a breakdown video. But suffice it to say, if you're a gamer, you might enjoy House of Leaves-esque Doom mod, myhouse.wad. Zyler May, thank you for sending 8 100s and an F to pay respects to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will keep it 100 and respectful at your urging. Skywarp23, thank you for gifting 5 Site 42 promotions to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain that they were especially appreciative of your generosity, as are we. Shannonigans, thank you for your subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff, and also great name. Great take on using your name Shannon for shenanigans. That's awesome. I'll dig it. Dr. Sherman, just how much has Doctor Who influenced the SCP Wiki? Well, intern Spooker, if you look at the timeline for the creation of SCP-173, I believe it was Dr. Sumerian, fellow SCP doctor and SCP author and SCP YouTuber Dr. Sumerian, who historically dug up that the Doctor Who episode that first introduced Weeping Angels came out very shortly before SCP-173, meaning it could be an inspiration. And if that is true, both the timing and the inspiration sense, well, that means that the entire SCP Wiki is because of Doctor Who. I don't know if it's true. Maybe you can do some research, talk to Dr. Sumerian, do a little study and see what you find. But it is a hypothesis. Damon, thank you for sending a 100 and an F to the chat. I am sure their respect and 100 keeping will be even strengthened by your generosity. Julian, thank you for sending an F twice. I am sure they will doubly be respectful at your urging. 369 Destroyer, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a fruit salad yummy yummy on your way past the commissary. Does the video game adaptation of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream count? No. Now, does it count for you knowing mostly the story and getting the gist? Yes. But the game is a major departure from the story. Which, you know, in adaptation you make changes. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying if you played the game, it's not the same as reading the story in this case. So still read the story. Titanborn, thank you for sending that trophy cake for my 13-year Wikidot birthday. Crazy that DJ knew that. Skywarp, thank you for donating again to say, happy Wikidot birthday. Go ahead and grab yourself a freshly baked pie and a 999 plushie. Ooh. Delightful. Thank you for your generosity in gifting that to me. I just happened to check it last week and thought I'd bring it up today as a gift. Here's a recommendation. SCP-9179 used the same format screw as SCP-3999. Ooh. I'm just going to leave 9719 in my browser tab here so that I can check it out later. And I will not type it wrong either. I'm just confirming. DJ said 9179. See, I transposed the digits. Now it's fixed. Okay. There we go for later. Now, I also see Austin and Saturn. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dr. Harrow, thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to keep it 100 at your urging. Philip November, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. grab yourself a handful of marshmallows on your way past the commissary. Spaceballs 2, the search for more money is being made. I know. And now, are they calling it the search for more money? I haven't seen confirmation that they're using the proper name. Because if they don't use the proper name, I will be disappointed as a fan of Spaceballs 1. Lone Star. Creeper, thank you for sending an F and a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure that the respects and the keeping it 100 will be top-notch thanks to you. Battle Strategist Supreme, thank you for sending a mighty sun balloon to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure it will lift our Containment Hazard Assessment team up to the highest heights. And at least it's not the sun launcher. You guys don't want to get the sun launcher treatment. Trust me. That's where we launch you into the sun. Bum ba dum ba dum. Bro really started doing short streams. Well, yes, Intern Yellow. We do the streams daily, and the Shorts algorithm does a very good job of bringing people to us. It's worked out pretty damn well for us for these last 11 months, 1 week, and 1 day. Whew! The streak remains strong. Okay, Creeper, thank you for sending another 100, and Woscom, thank you for sending 25 100s to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. Chat, you better keep it frickin' 100 today. Do you see how 100 you have to keep it? I believe in you, though. I know you can keep it 100. In respect for the generosity of these people. Top Hat Lemon Lime, thank you for sending another 100. The 100s continue. Darth Vader, thank you for sending an F to cause the chat to pay even more respects. Philip November, thank you for donating twice again to stay. So I just found out that there's an actual clinical name for not being able to sleep at night and just eating instead. There's a clinical name for that? I mean, the clinical name for not being able to sleep is insomnia, but what the hell would they even call that? Well, you donated again, so let me see what you said. It's called insomnomnomnomnomia. Well, you took me for a hell of a journey there. Congratulations. Jiminy sakes. Darth Vader, thank you for sending 2 more Fs to the chat, 3 more Fs to the chat, 4 more Fs to the chat. Chat, keep it 4 times more respectful, please. Darth Vader has asked for that. We have an Anakin and a Darth Vader here today. What a crazy random happenstance. I wonder if they ever chat. You know, you never see them in the same room now that I think about it. Peculiar. Philip November, thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to keep it 100 even more at your urging. Lone Claw, otherwise known as Dr. Vera Lovelace, thank you for upgrading your membership to Overseer. We appreciate your future leadership, although I don't know how I feel about the discovery of both a Cybertronian and a Mallow entity Overseer on the same day. Things are going to be very interesting around here. Speaking of birthday stuff, how old is George? The document of it, of course. Froy, I do not remember exactly when I wrote George the Chinchilla, but I am happy to take a quick look at the history for it and see when it was written. 3086. Don't mistype it, Sherm. You added an extra digit, you fat-fingered that thing. Go to the right document. Posted on September 27th, 2017. So it is going toward its 9th birthday. Which makes sense because I've been doing YouTube for 10 years now. Actually, 10 going on 11, if I remember my dates right. We're about a couple months from my 11th anniversary of doing YouTube, because that's in June. The YouTube birthday's in June. And so with that in mind, I started doing SCP writing shortly into my YouTube career. That way I wouldn't be like the Rubber and Detective Void, just leeching off the community. I wanted to actually contribute to it. And so I did my YouTube videos, but I also wrote my own stories. Skywarp, thank you for gifting 5 promotions to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain they are most appreciative of their promotions. And if you are in this stream and just got promoted on Skywarp's behalf, make sure to thank them for their generosity. Skywarp, thank you also for donating again to say, Darth Vader and Anakin, it'll be fine. Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Philip November, thank you for donating again to say, I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate. Great line. Great line. I hate, in a way, I literally have been a fan of Site42 since it started, but I didn't get more into the community till just last year. You've been around since the beginning of Site42? That's something I always am so curious about. Who has been here for 11 years, almost? What have you... How have you felt rolling with the punches, going from just the voiceover and some really, really bad quality voiceover into like upping the voice quality and then starting live streams and then losing live streams and then getting some video essays and then getting some live stream gaming content and now this new phase of daily streams. It's been such a wild ride. Either way, if you're still here after all that time, I appreciate you. Our journey has had one mission throughout the phases, which is to spread the SCP fandom far and wide, to get more people into it, to adapt the works of the SCP to greater and greater heights. And so, thank you for everyone who has been here on the Site42 journey for this long. Alright, double check notifications, reloading the chat because it's having a bit of a glitch. Okay, we're back. I'm on the fence currently with SCPs. I like Ploppy playtime. How can I get into it that way? So, intern YHYH, a Poppy playtime fan getting into SCP, you would probably enjoy the works of the group of interest Dr. Wondertainment. And so if you go to the database and you go to the homepage and in the top left corner you hit the sidebar and you go to the groups of interest, no, not the group of interest format. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Come back. You want to go to groups of interest and then come over to Dr. Wondertainment. And then you can go to the Dr. Wondertainment hub. So Dr. Wondertainment is an anomalous toy maker who runs a toy making company, and they make lots and lots of anomalous toys. Many, many SCPs with very much a vibe of, oh, this is a fun thing that absolutely ruins your shit if it's misused or even used properly. And so Dr. Wondertainment is a great vibe, both in the fairy tales, which is stories, literal tales, as well as the SCP documents of Dr. Wondertainment contained figures, objects. So that is where I would start were I you. Thank you so much, Site42. Happy to help. I have been in the SCP community for over 13 years, it turns out. So although I don't know everything, because dear Lord, there is so much to this fandom. If you look at yesterday's stream, I investigate a group of interest I have literally never heard of until yesterday. There's so much to do, so much to see, so what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow. How do you summon Bread Jesus? Intern Opal, the Bread Jesus summoning ritual is listed in SCP-3305's documentation. All you have to do is go to the special containment procedures of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Toast, otherwise known as SCP-3305, codename Bread Jesus, and Protocol Jesus, If a particular ritual is performed at SCP-3305, see document 3305-R, then a humanoid composed of bread will appear, SCP-3305-1. Additional documents. Open SCP-3305-R. Materials needed. 50 loaves of white bread. 3.79 liters of red wine. A virgin. 18.14 kilograms of homemade dough. 14.4 cubic centimeters of flour. 3.79 liters of gasoline, matches, and a Bible. Lay the loaves between the stapled pieces of bread to form a pentagram. This will require all 50 loaves, assuming each loaf is approximately 30.48 centimeters long. Pour wine over all of the loaves of bread. Move the virgin into the center of the pentagram. Cover the virgin with the dough so none of the virgin's skin can be seen. Sprinkle flour over the virgin and all loaves of bread. Douse the virgin in 3.03 liters of gasoline and each piece of bread in 0.19 liters. Ignite all 5 pieces of bread. Ignite the virgin. From the Bible, read aloud verse Mark 14:22-24. After the dough rises, it takes the form of SCP-3305-1. It is unknown what happens to the virgin, as all testing indicates 3305-1 is made entirely of bread and wine. So yes, the ritual for summoning SCP-3305, codename the Father, the Son, and the Holy Toast, but colloquially known as Bread Jesus, is right there. How do we come from amazing digital circus lore to SCP lore? Intern Bruh. At the beginning of stream, I talk about whatever subjects in the stream title. And so since Tadic episode 8 dropped recently, I believe it was like 2 days ago or something, because it had a reference to I have no mouth and I must scream, I use that as a jumping board from Digital Circus to get people to read I have no mouth and I must scream, to then talking about why SCP fans, especially fans of both Digital Circus and SCP, should read I have no mouth and I must scream. Thanks for letting me know, man. You are awesome. Hey, happy to help. Also, we are in the last 5 minutes of stream, everyone. So get your last minute questions in, because then I have to get to work. Dr. Parasitic, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a ice cool glass of melonade on your way past the commissary. Would you eat SCP-666.5-J? And if so, is your toilet ready? Thank you for donating twice to ask that same question, which is no. If I could avoid eating SCP-666.5-J, I would avoid it like the ass-blasting plague that it is. For those of you unfamiliar with this monstrosity, this SCP-666.5-J, codename The Roaring Flames of Hell, is a crab-stuffed mushroom entree produced by the Internal Foundation Catering Service for the 45th anniversary Site 19 Foundation Formal. 42% of the 1,500 attendees consumed that crab-stuffed mushroom entree and were subsequently affected by its anomalous properties. Its anomalous properties apparently became apparent approximately 1 hour after conclusion of the main course, at which time event-goers began to complain of slight abdominal pain. By the second hour, many attendees were complaining about significant digestive distress, and all restrooms in the immediate vicinity were filled to capacity with extended queues. Those who have consumed 666.5-J say that it has an odd, salty tinge to it, likely caused by an experimental salt substitute used in its creation. Where is the... Following 15 to 20 minutes of digestion, the gates of hell open up within the subject's intestines as Satan himself violates the subject's anal canal with a pickaxe. A sudden SK-class scorched earth scenario completely raises the interior lining of the afflicted's digestive tract as unholy murder flame rages throughout in a demonic vortex at a temperature of roughly holy crap on a cupcake degrees Kelvin. Every happy memory, every recollection of peace, joy, or anything other than sheer teeth-shattering agony is volcanically obliterated in a gastrointestinal supernova of biblical proportions. Subjects may experience blackouts or periods of lost time during this phase, their state of being reduced to a tear-blurred haze of torrential sweat, agonized wails, and desperate gasps for air. No, I do not want! Go read the SCP-666.5-J article. Clearly, there is some beautiful prose to be had. You are correct, intern Spooker. Jesus, in fact, wept. And probably of the Jesus that we contain, I would say it's likely that Vor Jesus wept the most, because with that unhinged jaw, Vor Jesus could eat a whole lot of those crab stuffed mushrooms. Skywarp, thank you for donating again to say. Little fact, I am in the multi-millions of years old, so I don't keep track anymore, but this makes it only natural for me to be overseer. Well, you have seen a lot of time in history, so that does track. Site 42 staff, by the way, we are 2 minutes to the end of stream, and you've almost got the likes above today's, frankly, maddeningly higher than usual viewer count. So hit that like button and see if you can crest the likes over the viewers before the end of stream. D-Light Vortex, thank you for sending a thumbs up to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will be positive at your urging. Lone Claw, thank you for, I think, your first donation of today's stream, as well as upgrading your membership. Make sure to grab yourself a creme fraiche on your way past the commissary. I'm old enough to turn the brains of those who try to comprehend my age into slime and teratomas, so it makes sense for me to be an overseer. Ooh. Everyone's got to justify themselves. Can't you just be overseer because, like, you're good at it, bro? Because, like, I don't know, you felt like being overseer? So, you know, it's chill. Chill, you guys. Chill. Philip November, thank you for donating again to say, I guess the Holy Ghost took a holy shit. Holy moly. Yeah. 369 Destroyer, thank you for donating again to say, Liminator update. Testing is going quite well. SCP-1985 has been helping us to test its effect on teleporters. Now we need a speedster. Go see if 5886 is still in containment in this universe. Or if you can get a 5886 from another universe. 5886, Jim Biggio is a speedster, is why I say. I saw the video of the spider eating a rock. Well, intern Greg, that makes sense. I do not know why the floating hand spider went so frickin' viral on this platform. But, hey, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed your time at the super cool petting zoo. Now, Site 42 staff, you did successfully get the like count not only above the viewers, but even though the viewers dropped, you did get the like count above what it was before it dropped. So congratulations, everyone. Thanks to your efforts, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, this YouTube Shorts feed will continue to bring us more folk. And those folk will see SCP Doctor on YouTube and be confused, but then enlightened and then entertained. I know, it's very exciting. It's very exciting that we have people here. And so, Site42 staff, I thank you for your service and hitting that like button, helping us to support the SCP Wiki and its authors, artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, etc. We thank you very much for your service in bringing the YouTube algorithm to our will. And now it turns out we are at the end of stream. And so it's time for the outro, people. And as I do every day as a tradition, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. But I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be sheer narcissism, cheating. But if you want to see the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you are on the SCP database, on my author page, one tab over from the SCPs I wrote, there's a list of links. Links that people are often crazy asking about in chat, but then they just never seem to find them, which is sad. But you guys in the Containment Hazard team, I will not going to be sad, because I know you guys are determined enough to find those links. And when you do, you'll be able to become a YouTube channel member or Site42 patron here to support us monthly. You can do Ko-Fi donations or YouTube Super Chats to donate to us one at a time. Either way, we greatly appreciate your generous donations to Site42. They are the quickest way to keep Site42 afloat for myself and the staff. But if you are unable to donate, do not fret. We're an arts community after all. We understand starving artists. The Broke Gang can still help us by hitting that like button, sharing, commenting, chatting, subscribing, not just to us, but to the SCP projects that we support. The SCP authors and artists and animators and game devs and filmmakers and merch makers and podcasters, etc. When you help us to get bigger and better SCP projects, you are a proud and honored member of Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename the Signal Boosters. And we thank you for that service. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one. It's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 500, and 5175-5320, content warning on the last one. It's a rough read. Whew. All right, Site42 staff, this has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site42. Please remember, outside of the SCP Sphere, I want you to be reading I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. It's literally 11 to 13 pages. It's so short. Read it. It's online. You can find it. You don't need to buy it. It is easy to find I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. If you want more reading recs, House of Leaves for spooky, fun format screw, and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for lighthearted, fun, goofy sci-fi. Read, people. We are a reading and writing community, after all. I hope you've had fun. I hope you've learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. I like the Drist books. Ooh, desk. Bringing a Dritz Doerden reference into my chat. In this, the year of our Lord 2026, I know. I'm shocked too. I have not thought of Dritz in years. Well, okay. Thank you guys for joining us. I'll see y'all later. Okay, she keeps trying to say hi. You know what? Let's say hi one more time. You want attention. You just want the chat to be paying all of their attention to your sweetie face. You just want attention. Yep, 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 yep. You got sweetie belly rubs for the chat. Oh, this is the credit song. It is a parody of Charlie Puth, I think, but I don't recall. I am just riffing cause I did not plan for this. But this yappy baby made me do it. And one more snacky snack from the chitty chat. Wee! Very good baby. Very good baby. Sweetie, roll over. This was your credits. Be safe, be well. Site42 staff. Secure, contain, protect.